Hello guys and welcome back to another video. I have to leave at like 12, so I'm not sure if this is going to turn into a devlog or not, but my plan was for it to be a devlog, but then, everything got messed up. So, let's... My keyboard is in the way. Okay, so anyways, let me just run the program. You can see that these objects collide just fine, right? And if I sandwich two objects together, nothing weird happens. They just, naturally collide. So, that's one thing. And then, okay, so they naturally, they collide just fine, and gravity works perfectly. They can all jump just fine. But when I jump on top, you can see it glitches out, and I have not been able to figure out why. When I look at my code, everything looks perfect, and it did land fine. So you can see when I checked for the collision type bottom, that means that the collision is happening on the bottom of the object that that is being collided with. So let's say a circle. The circle is the one that's running this method, right? And so if it collides with an object, if the circle is going up and it collides with the object, that means the object is above the circle, and therefore it's hitting the bottom of that other object. So let's say that other object is a square. You know what, let me just draw this out. I got a drawing tablet, and that's been great. Although I'm having trouble trying to find room for it. So let's say we have a circle and a cube or a square. The circle is going up. That means that when it collides, the circle is hitting the bottom of the square, which means that it's a collision with the type of a bottom collision, because it's hitting the bottom of this this square. And for the circle, and that's from the circle's point of view. However, from the square's point of view, it's colliding with the circle, but the collision type is a top collision because it's colliding with the top of the circle, right? So let's just clear this, right? And so this is currently how the collision system works. So we're just gonna have, here are the 3 frames. So, what the hell? So there's frame 1, there's frame 2, here's frame 3, right? Alright, so frame 1, the cube has not collided, or I keep saying cube, the square has not collided with the platform yet. It is still falling. So the platform is going to be static, but this is going down. It is falling, right? So then, the second frame is when it actually collides. So let's redraw our platform. The cube, or the square, son of a gun. The square actually collides. So this is when it collides / intersects, right? That's when it collides / intersects. Then we don't really want the square to be inside of the platform, so we adjust, right? We adjust, and we have it so that it perfectly collides with the platform. That's essentially what's happening. We have it all in 3 steps. We fall, so this we we move the object and it's falling, and then once it and then in the second frame we detect the collision, and then in the third frame we adjust accordingly, right? So all of this is happening in 3 frames. But here's the thing, that means that there's one frame where the object is inside of the object, right? And that's just awkward. And also, that means that it's, more room for error. So here is, and also, there's a problem with adding forces, but you know what, that's irrelevant. So here is what I want to do, right? Here's what I want to do. I want to combine that all into one frame. Make this all one step, right? So, what's going to happen? Well, in this frame, we are going to be above the platform, and we are about to move it down into the object. So what do? Well, we check if there will be a collision, not if it is colliding. So, so step 1, we check if there will be a collision. And then 2, if there will be a collision, then we adjust accordingly. Otherwise, if it is not going to collide, then we are going to continue to move the object. So yeah, that's essentially what's going to happen. We're going to check if there will be a collision, and then we will collide. But this is all happening within, this is all happening within one frame. So this is all happening within one frame, and this is all happening in one method. So, what are the 2 main differences? Well, we will predict instead of, we are going to, instead of checking, we are going to predict. So we are not going to check, we are going to predict. And then we will, instead of adjusting, we will act. That's a bad. Act accordingly. Can't. Okay. Alright, so, sorry, that's my bad. There really is only one main difference. We are going to predict. This is the main thing. Instead of doing the action and then checking if it's colliding, we are going to predict whether if it will collide when we move the object, and if we predict that it will collide, then we're just gonna move it to a specific axis. Okay. I'm just gonna put my drawing tablet aside. I'm I'm gonna save this to my desktop. We're just gonna call this new collision system for Arki. Save this as a PNG file. And let's just exit out. So here's the second problem. This isn't really accurate. My current system, not the one that I want to make, it isn't really accurate because we have a vertical speed and a horizontal, but we don't have a horizontal speed variable. Now, from what I remember from my physics class, let me pull up Paint again. Sorry. From what I remember from my physics class, an object will always, I think, don't quote me on this, I think, from what I remember, an object, so let's say a cube, will always have a vertical force and a horizontal force. And this is pressure. Now, of course, all of these forces are going into each other, so they cancel out. But then, they don't all cancel out because there are these forces called gravity. So in the end, the only forces that cancel out are these. And therefore, that pushes the object down, right? Because if there's 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, and let's say 9.8 here, then the object will start moving down. But right now, our system doesn't have any of these. Instead, it doesn't have either the left or the right. It just has vertical speed. So let me just erase that and erase this. So what my system has right now is just this vertical speed, right? And then we move this vertical speed. How do I change this back to a pencil? And then we move this vertical speed, so we move the object's vertical speed. But if we want to move the object separate, but we are moving the object separately, left to right, or sorry, you know what? Okay, I don't know how to explain this. So we move the object's vertical speed, and that is the gravity and add force stuff. So gravity. However, what we have is a move method. We take in some integer, so we have a move function, and what we do is we pass in this vertical speed into the move function. Now that means we can also pass in different numbers other than the vertical speed separately. So then we can have a separate time that we invoke it, and we just put in 12, for example, and we move that separately. So what I think this new system should do is we will have what is happening? We will have a local, I don't know, local move method, I guess. A local move method where we just set the speed, right? A local move method, right? This move method is going to add the force to the net force, and then we are going to, and then we're actually going to move it. So we're going to pass in some sort of variable. And then we're going to move it, and we're not going to pass any variable because we're just going to move it according to that force. So we're going to use, let's say, the vertical force. The vertical force. We're just going to move it according to the vertical force. So essentially, step one is we are going to calculate all of the forces going against it on that one axis, and then we're going to move it according to whatever force is left over, right? So, yeah, that's my plan. This will allow me to do it for the x-axis and the y-axis. I'm not very good at explaining my plans, are I? Alright, let's just delete all of this. Okay. Well, hope to see you guys soon. I don't really know what to do now since I have to go to the orthodontist soon. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this project. I'm gonna archive this project and okay, you know what? Let me do this. So I'm just gonna go to Opera and let me just go to GitHub. Right. I'm gonna go to Arki open source, and I'm just gonna fork this project over. And ooh, what the hell? Okay, wait. Can I not fork this? Who's watching this? Oh, me. Okay, you know what? Whatever. Where should we fork this over? One branch. Okay. Alright, let me just commit this and push it. Okay. I thought I could just fork. Okay. Can I copy this in some way? Settings. Change archive. Oh wait, no. No. Download template. What the hell is this? Repo card template. Okay. Alright, well. You know what, I'm just gonna have to suck it up and just because this collision system's already broken and it's not very efficient. And even if I do mess up this new one, like, I'm not gonna want to go back to the old one just because, you know, I can't. It doesn't work very well. So, yeah, that's it. See ya.